recently, there was a judgment against the BBI in Kenya. And one of the things I liked about this particular judgment, when you were looking at it, when I was watching it, it was streamed live on Facebook and YouTube, was that the judges tried as much as possible to use accessible language. But also, there was a lawyer on Twitter who was, basically just chronicling, like, what they're saying, and he also went ahead to explain things, I mean, basically what was happening and what the judges, thought was a problem, and he did it in very accessible language, and also he he did it in, in successive tweets. I felt you know that was powerful, and it's indicative of the age of the internet, where you can be able to like access experts who can be able to like explain in bite-sized, in a bite-sized information format, really complex things. So Kenya recently made history when the Judicial Service Commission nominated a female Chief Justice. The whole process has ended, and now she has been appointed. She went through Parliament, and also the President formally appointed her. Obviously, this was monumental, and also it shows us that we can inculcate vulnerable groups, in government, because the judiciary is a co-equal arm of government, and it's a serious responsibility, and I feel like it's a it's a very good step forward. The next one is a tweet by Davara, and he was making a commentary about the US election, and it was quite illuminating, because he used language and he used imagery that is usually saved by Western media organizations to describe Africa as far as elections are concerned, the political situation, etc. And it was quite interesting to to see to see it now from this side. As far as pictures are concerned, there's this picture of police brutality. That picture happened, around the clamor for independence of the election body IBC, and the police were extra brutal at that time. And then there was someone to actually, chronicle what happened. So there's this famous picture of this guy on the ground, and then there's this police officer who was like trampling on his head. The person survived, but that picture led to internal investigations within the police force. And I felt that it was quite powerful. The next one was during a protest. So Langata Road Primary School was protesting that a powerful politician wanted to steal some of their land. And this particular protest was actually really powerful, because it involved activists, school teachers, of that school, and also children. Now, something that no one expected was that the police would come and there would be force. There was a lot of force. Children were tear gassed, and it was really, really horrible. It was horrific to see. The end result of that is that they were able to stop the encroachment, on the school land, and eventually they were actually able to get a title deed, for for this for all the school land. The last picture is of Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, shaking hands, and which was popularly called the handshake. And now they're going to work together as far as the country is concerned. That was the beginning of a different kind of problem where the ruling party has the support of the opposition, and which means that the ruling party, which is controlled by the head of state, can be able to bulldoze and come up with all sorts of laws that are going to just fly through parliament. And there's no one sort of like speak for everyone else. As far as videos are concerned, I've always found the Kibaki swearing in video to be to be quite interesting. It showed a very low point in our democracy, and it showed how government institutions can actually be compromised, to be able to run the agenda of powerful people. That the tableau of him, being sworn in, at night, we're able to get a judge, etc., is something that is etched in my mind, and actually a lot of Kenyans' mind, and it's a reminder about the struggle, for democracy, and how we should never stop. The next one is of James Orengo, and he made a fantastic speech about his experience with leaning towards governments, or supporting your party just because.
Sometimes revolutions eat their own children. Yes. Government eats their own people. This government is going to punish you more than they will punish me. I'm telling you. In another 1 year, you will be crying in my office to come and represent you. I know, I can tell you. I've appeared for President Kibaki when he was in the opposition about laws which were made here. I've appeared for President Uhuru and Vice President Ruto when Kanu was going away. When Kibaki was taking away his members and making them ministers, I went to court on their behalf. But now that they're in power, they are forgetting. And power, when power gets into your head, I can tell you, you will never remember that one day there's a bigger power, almighty, that will deal with you.
He made a passionate plea for politicians to not, toe the line when whoever they're supporting is actually, either breaking the law or isn't, doing things as they're supposed to be. That particular video has always cropped up whenever we have either a constitutional crisis or a political crisis. The next video, that I found interesting and is forever etched in my mind as well, is when Raila Odinga was sworn in as a people's president. Uhuru had been declared the winner, but Raila believed that he had actually won, and then he went and did this whole ceremony. If if you think about it, obviously that was like very unprecedented. And as far as the government is concerned, it was like very, very illegal. And also, it led to the expulsion of a Kenyan citizen called Miguna, who is also a Canadian citizen. And it brought questions, of the election, that it was free and fair. I find that the situation and the video quite interesting, especially if you think about the number of people who showed up, to watch the inauguration. For Facebook, there was a situation early in the year. A blogger, an activist, and an influencer. His name is Mutemi Okiama, was arrested because he created a poster that showed the current president, as a wanted person. Other than that, I found, a certain, a certain post on Facebook where people were actually not only supporting him, but this particular post was actually asking people to, fund his case, because what had happened was that after he posted it, he was arrested. When this was shared, it was not only shared on Facebook. A lot of people actually donated to the cause, and I found that if you think about it from a rights perspective, and especially from a digital rights perspective, I feel like this is a way forward. And also, it tells us, that going forward, getting public buy-in, as far as protecting our rights is concerned, is actually an important thing. And if you do it the right way, then people are going to support you. The next one I found interesting was, a post about Raila and the people that support him. And in this case, it's businesses. Business and politics in Kenya have always intersected. Unfortunately, we've never had, great critique, or even information on who supports who. And it's quite interesting because if you think about it, a lot of business people tend to support both sides. So I felt that this was an important conversation. So the digital communication apps, that are important to me, is Twitter, WhatsApp, YouTube, and also, digital publications. So basically online, publishing websites. These tools have been beneficial to me because I'm able to access a lot of information, in the sense that now, for instance, if I want to know what's happening in Parliament, I can be able to check whatever their YouTube channel, the live stream, everything. The thing is, though, there's something, like, for instance, information overload, and being online all the time takes a toll on someone's mental health. And also something else, sometimes it being switched, sometimes it forces you to be switched on all the time, which is you know not the best thing, because sometimes you just get drained. And also, there's also that issue of misinformation, in the sense that these platforms have been used for a lot of good, to share a lot of important information, but they're being used by many people, including politicians, to spread misinformation. 5G is a very, very interesting concept, for me, because it will mean, faster internet, getting to be able to, spread and access information faster. And I've been using the internet, mobile internet, for quite a while. And I remember those days of Edge, then went to 3G, then 4G. The change, when you change from 2G to 3G, then 4G, you can actually see the difference, in the sense that you're able to not only send out more content, but you're always also able to access more content.